Hello everyone. Um, I'd like to welcome you in this tutorial. It's going to be all about Java. Of course, you are still learning Java. Um, I would like to recommend you because this one is going to be somehow advanced compared to what we did in previous tutorials. You can go ahead and try to rewatch again the video that was different. We just work on different projects, so you can go ahead and try to review what we started before, so that you come here and learn uh, the good thing. Actually, even you can catch up in this one because it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be the combination of what we did before plus another technology that's going to be what you call RMI, that means remote method invocation. So what do you mean remote method invocation? That means we should have a server and a client and should be able to communicate between them. Okay, like if I have a client, let us take for example, if a client is going to access a certain web application, for example, it's going to use a certain user agent, that means it's going to use a web browser, it's going to request certain user, even though if it is on a desktop application, it's going to request comes from the end user as a client, and then the server is just there to serve a certain purpose to the client. That means it's going to get certain information. It comes from the client. It depends on what's being requested through the API, so that it can be able to assign or to give the service that the client is being asking to have. So what do we mean from here? So that means we need to make sure server and the client are able to communicate. Actually, on the server we can use different IP. Not only that, we need to assign our Java application the port number that can be listened by the end user, so that they can be able to communicate each other. So without taking much time, I'm going to work on a certain project. It's going to be easiest one actually, but it's going to be helpful to you, so that you're going to grab the logic behind the remote method invocation. I will be talking too much things about the server and the client, how they're going to be able to communicate, some key steps to follow so that you don't lose track, so that you know exactly what you're doing till to the end. So without taking much time, let us have a look from here. We're going to create a certain is the simplest. I mean, it's going to be, if it's a simple, actually it can be hard for you, but I'm going to make sure it's the simplest one, so that you can be able to understand what's going here behind. So we're going to create a certain by help of Java, by help of Hibernate API. You can see by using RMI or remote method invocation, Hibernate API, Java Swing, because we're going to develop a distributed COVID-19 vaccination registry. That means we need to create to make sure we're going to help or to solve a certain issue that can be raised by any kind of the country. This was a pandemic that happened previously, yes. So we're going to try to, what if that issue comes again? Or I'm not saying it's good things that can come, but what if comes something similar? Or if there is a certain problem, what if in a country they wish to know how many number of the people have been vaccinated? Okay, so how can you try to implement that kind of thing, so that it's going to solve that kind of the issue? So those are the things we're going to solve, so that we're going to help a government, so that it can detect who is vaccinated, also who is unvaccinated, so that we can allow some service to him or her. So the first step, the system should represent a citizen registry and a vaccination registry. That means the system should present a registration form for the citizen. I mean, to register the citizen. Of course, if it is a government thing, we can provide a way to integrate with a certain organization that are responsible to give identity to the citizen of the country. That means we can grab some information come from the citizen. We don't need to register the citizen, but from this one, it says it's like a school-based application. That means we don't need to go and find an API for a certain organization that is responsible to give a certain IDs to the end user. Because if we have a citizen ID, that means we have all the information comes from the citizen actually. So those things can be governed through the APIs and so on, that can be issued by those kind of the organization. You can just try to search and even ask permission. So also we need a vaccination registry. That means we need to register the vaccine. To register certain information to the citizen. That means actually they are going to be able to communicate between citizen and vaccination registry, so that we need to first to get the citizen so that we can can assign a vaccination to him. So not only that, system user should be able to concurrently register vaccinations. Okay, that means you have to provide the way user that they can be able to, it can register the citizen. Not only that, also it can register vaccination at the same time. So the user should be able to print and vaccinate the citizen from the citizen registry. The user should be able to print vaccinate the citizen with the specific vaccine brand name they took. That means the system is all about to create a citizen registry and a vaccination registry form, and also it should be able to allow to register them with some validation. Of course, you need to apply some validation. Not only that, it should be able to print and vaccinate the citizen from citizen registry. Not only that, it should be able to print vaccinate the citizen with their brand name of the vaccine they took. Okay, those are the things we do have from here. So now let us try to have take a look at what we have from here. Can you see we have a class called citizen? Also we have vaccination. We have an enumeration class that's called vaccine brand. It's going to have Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca. Those are the vaccination we used to talk. We took previously in COVID-19 years. So we need to make sure we're going to try to do the little thing. So that means we need the citizen. There's certain attributes or something that's characterizes the citizen. So citizen should have citizen ID, phone name, and phone number. Not only that, also we need to have a vaccination date. That means for the vaccination table, it should have vaccination date. But not only that, also should be able to have vaccine brand. Not only that, should have, can you see when we have this kind of the data model presentation, design presentation, so on. So this kind of thing is advanced. We can have a way to have this one too. But that means this one we are going to have a foreigner key comes from the citizen on table design model. That means if this class is pointing to this citizen, that means this is going to have a primary key, and we're going to have a foreigner key comes from the citizen. That means within vaccination, you're going to have vaccination date, we have citizen ID, but the foreigner key that comes from the citizen class also going to have vaccine brand. That means we're going to have a string to have a vaccine brand. That's all. So that thing we're going to implement as quick as we can. We're going to go step by step. The first one, we're going to design a system should represent citizen registry. We're going to have citizen registry. After have citizen registry, we're going to have vaccination registry. But before we move on, there's something we need to know. Of course, we're going to use LMI. If we're going to have LMI, that means we need to have a server. Not only that, we need to have a client side. Okay, we have a client side. Also, we have a server side. For the client side, actually, this is where the notes on server side. That's where we have the much work to do. But all of them, you need to make sure you know what's going on. On the client side, we're going to have a view. So I will just interpret something. I will just show you something else. That we're going to have service. Also, going to have some model to help us to create a project class that can grab the data and save data to the database, nothing else. Of course, if we have a service, we should implement that kind of the service. Okay, we can have within the service, you can have an implementation class. That's the thing we can do have. Actually, most of the time we do have service, and so we have a package for implementation of the service. But from here, we're not going to implement the service on the client side. Okay, no, we don't have that one. But on the server side, we're going to have of course we need to have a class that's going to govern each and everything that are going to happen together. Actually, it is a controller. It's called a controller because somehow you can make it as a controller. That's the good thing I do like to use. This thing is not an iMovies one, but it can implement somehow that can work with this one. So we have service. So we have model. Under the model, we should have actually entity. Not on. Also, you can have that access object. So these entities, those are the project classes. Under the service, we should have the service class. Not on that service class, also we should have an implementation package. I will just elaborate the things later on. So Let us go on, try to do these things as quick as we can. So let us go to the view. Let us start for the client side, and then we have the things as quick as we can. So for we're going to use technology, we're going to use Hibernate API. It's a framework actually for the GDBC. The thing we're going to implement quick as we can. So let us have a view side. That means we're going to create two projects for the client side and server side. Let us go to our NetBean. Let us create a new project. I'm going to call it, it's going to Java project, and then click next, and then we're going to call it client citizen, vaccine COVID, let us call it COVID-19 registry. Okay, this is going to be our project, personal project. There's no need to have a many class. So we're going to have also a server side, two projects at the same time. So let us create another project. It's going to be server COVID-19 underscore registry, and then it has click finish. Those are the server side. So it's not service, it's server side. I will just change this one. Let's try to refactor. It's called server. Okay, with name. Great. Now after having these things, we're going to create those kind of the packages on the client side. Let us start with the client side. We're going to go to the server side later. So let us have this one. Let us create a new package. From here, we're going to have view. Also, we're going to have model. It does have model. So let us have also a service. Okay, those are the packages we do have from here. Also, we can go ahead and we do have this one. We can have all the packages we have. We can have a controller. We can have, this is a simplest controller actually. It is a remote method the controller. We can have service. We just show something else. Also, we can have a model. You are just experienced with the model. Inside the model, we can have about the most advanced one. As the model actually, that's where you have an entity. Also, we have DAO actually. That's how it works. The same concurrently. You can go ahead just to implement that one, or for you not to mess up with what we did before. It has continued having the things like DAO, like this way. You have DAO on its sound side. We make it like simple like this way. So package is nothing else, just to make sure things that were organized, nothing else. Okay. So now let us go to the view. We're going to have two classes. That means we're going to, of course, two of them. We're going to have we're going to use swing. We're going to use swing. Let us go to the swing. Let us go to the swing GUI form. So let us have different form. Let us have a simplest one. That's going to be quickest one. Different form. Of course, we can have an MDI. That's going to be the quickest one, whereby you can click on client registry. It's going to be opened automatically. Nothing else. Okay. So let us have this one as simple as this one. It does have different form. I'm going to call it this one citizen registry. Click finish. It's going to be the citizen registry. Do have citizen registry from here. Also, you can go ahead and have also the different form for vaccine registry. Those are the only two things we do have from here. Okay, now under the citizen registry, what do we need for citizen? Actually, for the citizen, we need citizen ID, phone names, and phone number, nothing else. Okay. So now it does have a panel from here. It does have a panel. We increase the panel. We can increase also so that it can have something. We can change the properties so that you can have visible border, nothing else. I do like somehow design, but the quickest one. So now let us have label. We have the title, we have citizen ID, phone names, phone number, that's all. So we do have G text field for citizen ID, for phone names, also phone number. Okay, and then you can increase the size, and then you try to edit. And try to edit, and then remove each and everything we do have from here. Increase the size first, and then we edit to remove each and everything we have from here. Same as here. Okay, this one is going to be citizen registry as title. This one is going to be citizen ID. This one is going to be phone names. This one also is going to be phone number. Okay, also we're going to have a button from here, a button for, let us say, register. Okay, we're done from here. We need to change the variable name. So we're going to be citizen ID text. Also this one is going to be phone names text. Also this one is going to be change the variable phone number text. Okay, we good. Now this one, you can change the variable name to be register button. We're done for the naming, nothing else. We're almost. And then not only that, we need to have also version registry. For the version registry, what do we need for version registry from this class? You can see we need the vaccination date. Not only that, we need the vaccination band, also a citizen ID. Actually, for the vaccination, if you can see, this comes from this, it needs to retrieve some data comes from the citizen table. That means we need to grab the all citizens who are registered in the system so that we can grab their values. That means I want to use a list of them or a combo box. They're going to retrieve first the citizen ID. After retrieving the citizen ID, now we register the vaccination brand. Okay, that means we're going to under this class. This class, let us have the same thing. Oops, oh, you know what, this one, I just configured in the vaccine brand, just messed up, but it's okay. You can go ahead, just we cut this panel. We can cut this panel and then we paste down here. You can see that's how we can paste this one in simplest way. So now we can come here, we edit. You can see no longer there. Now we come with our own panel. I just messed up somehow. Okay, now we come up, it has changed the border. Can you go ahead even try to edit this one? For the design, you don't have to take much time on it. So we come up with the cross. It does have label. It's going to be vaccine registry. So we need actual vaccination date. We need the vaccination brand. Also, we need the citizen ID to register. Okay, nothing else. So that means let us call this one is going to be citizen ID to register. So we need vaccination brand. So we need also vaccination date. Okay, we good. Now this one is going to be vaccination registry. That's the title. The first one for citizen, they're going to have a combo box. We're going to have a combo box, the same as for the vaccination brand. Also for vaccination date, we're going to have this one. for the design part somehow, just 3K. You can see we have G calendar, we have G date chooser. You can go ahead, you try to download G calendar, and then you can add as a swing control. But right click on this one, you go to the project manager, you can go ahead and try to add a jar file. That means you need to download the jar file from this one so that you can add here and be added automatically. So let us use G date chooser. Let's have G date chooser from here, so that we can grab the date from the end user. So now we need to change the variable name. This one is going to be citizen combo. So this one is going to be vaccination brand. That's called brand combo. Just calling this one. Also we need to have vaccination date combo box. Okay, so we need button to save. Okay, does have button to call it save. Okay, and then you change the variable name to say save button. Okay, we are good, and then we save this class too. Actually by now on, if it is a certain exam, you have your full marks from here by just having to present citizen registry and vaccination registry. That's all. So now we're going to be able to configure a way this thing user they can be able to concurrently register the vaccination. So that means in the next part we're going to try to talk about those was just design. The next part is going to be, we're going to just to focus on here users so that we can be able to register the vaccination. So I would like to see you in the next part. We're going to talk about too much of things, but are going to be the growth things so that you are going to enjoy. Thank you all. See you in the next part. Thank you.